All right. So my name is Grace Stockhausen. I'm here for the Duneland School Board Candidate Questionnaire, and this is
Alayna, lightfootpol.
And yeah, let's get started. So tell us a little bit about yourself, length of time in community, occupation, education, family stats, kids in Duneland schools, etc.
Well, I am 38 years old, and I live right here in Chesterton with my husband and 2 daughters. They are 8 and 10. Both attend Duneland schools. One elementary and one is now at Westchester Intermediate. I am a Duneland grad. I was a 2002 CHS grad right here, second graduating class out of this school. Went to college for elementary education. And I do have a master's in education also. I'm a teacher. I currently work in a neighboring district in a 3rd grade classroom, and we're involved in the community. Been here. We lived in Indianapolis for a number of years, but moved back in 2014 to raise our daughters here.
All right. What do you think a school board member does, and how do you view the relationship of the teachers, the administration, and the school board in terms of hierarchy and goals?
As a school board member, my job is to work with the other members to hire and evaluate our superintendent. And also we are in charge of policy, governing, or, looking at policy, approving policy, changing policy when needed. And then, it's our job to be good stewards of the taxpayer dollars and how we're using those dollars in the district. Now, the hierarchy of the board, superintendent, administration, staff, and community members, there is a chain of command. So we work alongside of our superintendent for certain things, and then a lot of the day-to-day that happens within the district does not even really spill into our role as a board member. So when we have community members that kind of address us with things that can be handled within that specific building, or certain directors in those that in that capacity, it's our job to kind of send those people to the people that can take care of that. And then when something is an issue we need to address, then we kind of look at that as a board and along with the superintendent.
What experience, education, and or attributes do you have that will add value to the board?
I would say something that sets me apart from other board members is, I kind of already mentioned that I am a CHS grad, which is not unique to me, but something that is unique to my position on the board is I am a current public school teacher. I think that my experiences as a public school teacher in other districts has helped me, especially in central Indiana, has helped me kind of see how other things are run and how other districts are doing things. So when I moved back, I kind of brought that knowledge with me, and I thought we might be able to change things in certain areas for the better. I also think being a mom to 2 younger Duneland students is important, because I'm seeing that perspective of a parent. I'm living that day to day. I'm getting the robocalls. I'm reading the emails as a parent. I also have to say that being a teacher and parent in this post-COVID place, education is different. I mean, it's changed. We have a different educational environment right now. Students are kind of coming in my classroom to us different, I think having to grapple with that as a current teacher and parent is helping me in my board position make decisions and help kind of guide the district in a direction that is helpful.
Yeah. There are some who oppose, others who support the new capital campaign project within the Duneland School Corporation. Where do you stand on this issue?
Oh, I'm fully supportive of the capital project. And I say this as like the Duneland community we are very lucky and fortunate to have had past board members that were very debt adverse. Like they really took care of the district to make sure they were good stewards of the money. So they set us up to be in a unique position where we can do this huge capital project. And I, being someone who is really involved, and I really try to pay attention to what's happening in education in general, public education specifically, but we have to really understand that we are in a place in education that we're fighting for enrollment, right? Like we have to market ourselves in a way that we want people to be attracted to our community, attracted to our district. And this alone, being able to impact all buildings in a positive way and change, be able to modify those learning spaces so all students in our district are able to benefit from that, that's amazing. I think that's going to be very beneficial for our community, alongside the other things we have going on, like the middle school now down the road will become this healthy living campus that the YMCA is taking over. I think that is fantastic. Mm-hmm. And I'm also a big fan of us going back to a 2 middle school district. When I ran 4 years ago, I was hearing over and over again how some of the parents were unhappy with how many transitions their students were making from the elementary to the intermediate to the middle school to the high school. And that will eliminate one transition. And I also think that allowing us to kind of separate or, keep those middle school grades 5, 8 smaller and in the same building for a longer time, even though we'll have like different wings and it'll be a school within a school, I think it's going to help with cultivating like a positive community. Like they'll be there for longer. They'll know their peers a little bit longer. They might, I think it'll be a benefit to the culture of the buildings. So I'm a big fan.
Many parents are concerned about their children being protected to be their authentic selves at school. What does this mean to you, and how will you address those issues?
So as a teacher, we understand that it's important for us to create healthy, safe, and thriving schools, community within the classroom. Part of that healthy aspect in that community environment is the ability for students to feel comfortable and feel like they're a valued member. So without having that, without being able to feel like your authentic self and be a valued member of the classroom, you're not getting the learning environment that you need. So all students need to feel as if they can be their authentic selves, to be that risk taker, to be able to thrive in that community environment. So back to how I will address it. I mean, that kind of supporting initiatives to help us create environments that are supportive, more tolerant of others. I think that's important that we are supporting that, because, as a school district, we're looking at preparing students for life post 12th grade, right? Like whether they're going to be enrolling in a school, going straight to employment, or enlisting in some type of service. So with that, knowing those things, like people are leaving this community, they have to understand that it's important to be tolerant of others and be able to be successful beyond Chesterton schools.
In the past, there were outbursts from some parents over the mask mandate during COVID, allowing gay pride and BLM flags in the classroom. Where do you stand on these two issues, and how would you have addressed them?
It's important to hear from our parents and community members, and they have a right to their First Amendment rights. As a board member, sadly, we've come to a place where things that, in my opinion, should not be politicized are being politicized. Equality should never be politicized, bottom line. So when we have parents or community members that are coming at us and are angry, upset about certain things, yes, we will hear them and listen to them. We'll follow laws and for certain situations. We also followed the prevailing science when it came to COVID and mask mandates. So even though parents were upset and angry, we did what was right for the entire district, or that we felt what was right and what we needed to do. As a community member and parent that also resides in this district, it's disheartening to see and hear the anger and just exclusionary viewpoints people have. And what I will say about that is, I think as a leader in the community and a person that's very in tune with public education and education in general, I think I need to look at my role as helping educate the community to understand how this misinformation is negatively impacting the larger district. But as a board member, I am a one person on a 5-person board where we are coming together to look at laws and policy to move forward. So I feel like there's a lot of work to be done to help the buy-in, right? Parent community buy-in of why it's important for us to be a supportive community who does value all students that come into our buildings, because that is our job, is to give a free and appropriate public education to all students that live within our boundary. And to do that, that means we have to value all differences.
There is discussion at the state level of having school board members declare their political party membership. Where do you stand on this?
I am very opposed to that. I think it's really mind-blowing that we get to a place that our legislators feel like we need to declare a party. Because I don't believe that declaring a party, politicizing our role governing the district will be beneficial at all. I think that we should keep politics out of this arena. I think that that's another thing that maybe voters or constituents need to be a little bit more informed about, how that would negatively impact the district. So I am completely opposed to declaring a party. I think that is not a good idea.
All right. And then last question, why should someone vote for you?
Well, a number of reasons. I'm not finished with the work I am doing with Duneland. So a lot has changed. 4 years ago when I ran, I ran because I felt like I could bring my experiences and my role and, being in touch with the community. I thought that, and I still do believe that I can positively benefit the direction of the district. So much has changed in 4 years. We have so many great things happening in the district. I mean, I was a part of the strategic plan that really kind of gave us a focus on where we wanted to go. So we're really focused on, early childhood, bringing some more early childhood education opportunities to the district, like the Duneland Early Learning Hub. Amazing, right? Like, we've got kids coming in. We have Ready Set Kindergarten in the Duneland buildings, and that's like a kindergarten readiness program to get these kids ready for kindergarten. We also have brought more like mental health support to the district. We have adopted a social emotional learning curriculum. We have done, the capital projects will greatly enhance our district. There are just so many things that we've started to work on and we're not completed. And I am asking for voters to turn out and vote for me so I can finish the work that I feel like is so important here in Duneland. I also truly believe that it's important to have a parent like myself that's living the day-to-day. I'm absolutely invested in making this district the best it can be. I am a classroom teacher, and I feel that that's a great perspective to add to the board. I mean, we do have 2 other members that are retired Duneland employees, and that's a great perspective. But right now, in this, I mentioned it before, like this post-COVID place, it's important to kind of know the differences, because there are some stark differences than there were a few years ago. And I just kind of want to touch on one big thing that is important. Kind of earlier when I mentioned, like, our job is to give a free and appropriate public education to all students. With that, we can't ignore the need to really address what's happening with the Porter County Education Service and our special needs students, and where we need to get to a place where they're being served in the best capacity, and that those teachers are feeling valued, because they are a huge value to our district and our students. And I think that's that's another thing that I want to work on and see through is whatever that looks like down the road, helping drive that initiative to a place where everyone feels good about how our special needs students are being served. Mm-hmm. So a lot. I just would say, I need more time to finish the work that I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
So thank you.
All right, and that's it.